Hi guys, and welcome to Escape with Watch Reviews. My name is Steve, and today we're going to be reviewing the new watchdives WD16500 version 2. So I received this watch for free. I don't have to send the watch back, but you guys know the deal by now. No matter how I get a watch in for review, I'm always going to give you my honest opinion in a full and comprehensive review. If you want to purchase this watch after this review, go check out the link in the video description. That is an affiliate link, and it is to the official watchdives website. I always suggest using the watchdives website. You get their customer support, you get their 3-year warranty as well. So, and they also typically have the best prices. So, yeah, I see no reason to not go with the watchdives website. So that link, again, it is an affiliate link. If you use it, doesn't cost you any extra, just earns me a little bit of commission, helps getting in watches like these over and over again. So I really do appreciate the continued support. So at the time of recording, the retail price is $119 US. However, as always, there's an early bird deal going on, which brings the price down to $89 US. So act quick and you can get it for that $89. If your purchase goes over $150, I will leave my code right here, ESCAPE10, for $10 off that purchase. The watch comes in only the 2 colorways that you can see on screen now. I think they both look pretty good. The watch case is made of 316L stainless steel, as is the bracelet and the clasp. Has a sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating, a screw-down crown, screw-down case back, 100 meters of claimed water resistance, BGW9 on the hands and the dial, and the watch is powered by the Seiko VK63 Mecha Quartz movement. So I reviewed version 1 a while back, and it was a nice option for those interested in the Daytona look, something different than the Pagani design. And this new version has just been slightly tweaked. It's more than just a new dial though, so I say we get into all the details. But before we do a quick wrist check. Wearing another watchdives watch that came in with this one here. This is the WD003 in the black mop dial, mother of pearl. Looks awesome. A review for this will be coming up soon too. Alright, so let's get to dimensions. We have a bezel diameter of 37.9 millimeters, case thickness of 11.5 millimeters. We got a standard 20 millimeter lug width, lug tip to lug tip of 46.3 millimeters, a total length of 49.7 millimeters, and sized up for my wrist, it weighs 125 grams. So we've got a good set of dimensions here. 38 millimeters at the bezel. Feels a little bit bigger than that just because of the crown guards and the crowns, but yeah, it wears really good in my opinion. Nice length. Good thickness as well. There's a slight turn down to the case here, as you can see. Sorry about the fingerprints, but this is their newer case. So the previous one was very flat. This is kind of their newer style of case. So it has a little bit of a hook down to the lugs there. 11.5 millimeters thick is pretty impressive. But yeah, I do like the way that this watch wears. I think it wears really good. I'm going to go outside right now and throw it on my wrist for you. And here we are on my 7.5-inch wrist, and I think it wears very nice. Kind of that perfect size in my opinion. Maybe, no, I think it just wears great. I got no real complaints with it. You can see there, turn down to the lug tips just a little bit. Helps keep this thing nice and flat on the wrist. Wears really flat, really low on the wrist. And yeah, I mean, I just like all the light play off of the dial, off the bezel, polished links as well, polished case. I mean, it's a very shiny watch, but I think it does look really good. Let's go throw this on some straps and let's get back to the review. And here we are on a cut to size FKM. This is kind of the Rolex style, but just flat ended there. I think it looks really good. Here it is in some sunlight, just so you can see the sunburst on the dial. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. And next up, here we are on a smooth FKM cut to size. This one here is in white. Figured it would match the subdials, and it looks pretty good. And here we are on the same strap, just in red. There's just a little bit of pop of red on the dial. I don't even know if you guys can see it because it does get hidden pretty good, but I still think that looks pretty good. What do you guys think? And lastly, here we are on just a sailcloth style strap, black with the white stitching. I think it looks good. Not my favorite strap, but it is linked down below. It's not horrible, it's just not my favorite. Alright, let's go back inside and get back to this review. Alright, so let's talk about the case on the watch. So the case is fully polished, as you can see here. We have fully polished tops to the lugs there. We have fully polished case sides here, and this is one of the areas where they did change the case up a little bit. So yeah, you're seeing a little bit more turn down to the lugs there. They kind of have this little hook on them. It's a really interesting case shape. You can see it is just kind of a flat case, so it's not rounded off. It's got a little bit of roundedness to it, but really not much at all. But you can see here the polishing looking really good, really just streak free. It looks very nice. Got no issues with that. Polished crown guards. Here's our crown setup here. So we have our pushers here, which are screw down pushers. They're polished, they're undecorated. Then we do have a signed screw down crown here at the 3 o'clock position. Plenty of grip on that crown, no issues there. The bottom of the case has been rounded off nicely, so there's no sharp edges on this. Like even these pointed corners here are not sharp. So pretty happy overall with the case finishing. Case back, just a standard case back, brushing and polishing. Simple notches to get a tool in there. No issues with that. Everything here is nice and smooth. I don't knock companies too badly for sterile case back. You just never see them. So yeah, not a huge deal to me. It is nice and low profile. So this thing does sit down right on your wrist. And yeah, I mean, the case itself, I think, is done very nicely. We have a ceramic bezel insert, as you can see here. These are all filled in with white paint. Before, they did Lume these, so that's not the case here. Seems they're just going with the white paint, which I think is a smart idea. I really would like to see silver paint in here in the future, because that's kind of how the Rolex does it, but white paint looks fine in my opinion. But yeah, everything here seems to be done really nice. And I did want to point out to those that were wondering, this isn't a bezel insert, it's just a full bezel replacement, kind of like the previous version of the Daytona homage. It's just a full bezel that gets pressed on. I believe the newer Rolexes, they use a steel bezel that gets pressed on and then has a ceramic insert. It's just a small minor detail, but something I figured would be worth pointing out to you guys. But yeah, I do like the case on this. I think it's finished very nicely. All right, so let's talk about the crystal. Testing it for sapphire. It is positive for sapphire. So we just have a dead flat piece of sapphire crystal, clear inner reflective coating. Does a good job keeping the dial nice and legible. You can see the rehout depth on this watch is not too bad either. So yeah, overall pretty happy with this. The crystal sits just ever so slightly above the bezel here with a little bit of a chamfer. But yeah, it's a good crystal. Got no real issues with it. So let's get real close and we will talk about the dial on the watch. So the dial is something new for this watch. At least this one is. The other one looks pretty similar. I didn't see anything different with that one, but this one is laid out just a little bit differently, and I think it looks really good actually. So we have kind of this dark gray sunburst dial. It is a very strong sunburst dial. I think it looks fantastic. We have applied indices at all the hour markers, even the 3, 6, and 9. Got these little tiny squares on them. Sometimes those squares can get like off center because there's only like one peg that holds them into the dial. But this one, they look pretty much spot on to me. The alignment of all the other hour markers, they look good too. We have our watchdives logo here at the 12 o'clock with chronograph and professional. And then we have this little pop of red here, which does get lost every once in a while on this dial. But it says racing there, so this is their new racing style chronograph, I guess. The subdials here, fully white, as you can see, slightly recessed and accented with a nice little polished ring around the outside. I'm looking at this 24-hour dial here. So there is a little bit of flare on that. Those are just matte white dials. There's no texturing to them or anything like that. Simple black markings on it. Obviously, 24-hour dial is pretty useless to a lot of us, but that's the game we play with these movements, right? So we can't do anything about that. Watchdives, they can't do anything about that either. They'd have to search for a new movement. But running seconds down here at the 6 o'clock position and the chronograph minute counter here, which doesn't have any markings other than every 5 minutes. So yeah, you're going to find it kind of useless, I would say. I'm not going to say useless, but a little bit harder to use than one that has full markings. Again, it's just a design choice that they made. It makes it look a little bit more symmetrical. But yeah, I think overall it looks pretty good. We're not usually, using our watches to time things seriously. So I'm okay with that. But visually, I think the dial looks really good. The handset that they use, pretty similar to the last ones. They have some black paint right down the middle. They do have some lume on them. They're faceted, so they kind of catch the light and play with the light. Good length on them, nice and bold. And they really don't get lost on this dial. So pretty happy with that. We have just a normal second hand here, flat. It doesn't have any painting on it. I'd like to see like a red tip. I think that would kind of look cool with this one, but they just went fully polished there. Again, it gets a little bit lost, but really not horrible on this watch. But yeah, I do like the entire layout of this. I think it looks fantastic. The alignment on this one, just spot on. Really happy with the alignment on this one. I think it's pretty much bang on. But yeah. And we do have a little bit of lume on this watch as well, so I'm going to pop it up against a couple other watches in the collection. And here you can see it's BGW9, so it's that ice blue glow. Nice solid application, pretty even application as well. It does really, really good. I was pretty impressed with the lume on the previous one. This one is no different than that. So yeah, the lume on this watch is better than it needs to be for a chronograph. So really happy with the lume on it. All right, so let's talk about the movement inside. So the movement is the Seiko VK63. We've seen it 100 times by now. They're great movements. The really only downfall to this movement is that 24-hour subdial. Other than that, though, you're getting good accuracy. They're stated at plus or minus 20 seconds per month, but they're much more accurate than that. And then the power reserve on the battery is about 3 years. I've had one in my drawer for 4 years and it's still running. So yeah, maybe I just got lucky on it. And but yeah, the movements are great. I've got no issues with them, no complaints with them. They work great. This one here is operated by this 3 o'clock screw down crown. So really nice, smooth screw in and screw out action on that crown. You get a decent pop out there. First position does nothing. Second position does change the date window back there. So there is a ghost date position. I can hear it clicking around. Third position is your time setting, so it does hack the movement. This is where you set your time. The hand alignment was really good. Got no issues with that. Chronograph function, just like you would expect the top button here. You press that. It starts the sweeping of the second hand, 5 ticks every second, so pretty decent sweep on that. Nice feedback on these pushers as well. You press it again, nice positive click. Resetting here, again, nice positive click, and it snaps right back into place. So I've got no complaints with the movement. The pushers function great. The screw in and screw out of all the pushers is nice and smooth. So yeah, no real surprises here. It's a great setup. All right, so let's get to the bracelet. So first things first, it is a standard bracelet, 20 millimeters, and then it tapers down to 16 millimeters at the clasp. We have 3 solid links, solid end links. We have male end links, so you can see they protrude just a little bit, but it's still under 50 lug to lug, and they do turn down pretty sharp. So yeah, I think this is still going to fit smaller wrists, and it's going to look fine. These male end links, they give a cleaner look, so as long as they don't stick straight out, I'm okay with a male end link. I think they look pretty good. You can see the finishing on the bracelet, really, really nice. Even these middle links, which you can usually see streaking on, I mean, they are just really smooth. They did an excellent job with the polishing and the brushing on this bracelet. We have polishing on the sides here. We do have screws for sizing. I removed 1 link for my 7.5 inch wrist. The end links themselves, really nice and tight in there. Don't feel any wobble. They follow the case curvature just about perfectly. Yeah, you can't get a whole lot better than that. No quick release, but nice solid spring bars in there. Working our way to the clasp. This is our new style of watch dives clasp. I've showed it off once before, and I'm going to show it off again here. Brushing on the top, brushing on the sides, and a nice polished chamfer. So visually goes well with the case in my opinion. We have 5 levels of micro adjust, so there's no on the fly adjustment. 2 button pushers here. Everything functions just as I would expect it to. There's no real play here. There's no real play here either. So this one opens and closes, no issues. I have 5 of these clasps on my desk right now, and they all open and close just fine. So I think the first one that I had didn't function as good as this one does. So that's nice to see that maybe they're improving some things. But there is still a little bit of jangle here, which I don't like, and it's mostly coming from right here. So this connection, I believe in between these 2 surfaces here is more than 16 millimeters, and the bracelet itself is about 16 millimeters. So you can see there's a little bit of back and forth wobble in here. I think that's where a lot of the rattle from this clasp setup is coming from. So if they can somehow tighten that up a little bit, yeah, that would probably get rid of really my only complaint about this clasp. It's a fine clasp. There's nothing really wrong with it. It functions fine. It's comfortable. It's low profile, and it balances the watch head nicely. But there is a little bit of rattle, which I do notice when it's just, you know, open. When I'm putting it on the wrist, I can hear it. But once it's on the wrist, it's really fine. It doesn't rattle at all. So yeah, I think overall the whole setup of the bracelet, it's comfortable. The tolerances are good. You can see here there's a little bit of slop in it, but really not that bad. It doesn't feel like a hollow bracelet. This one feels pretty solid. And the bottom side of the bracelet has been rounded off nicely. So it's been a comfortable bracelet for me. So there you go, guys. That is the WD16500 version 2. This is their latest one. I wanted to get this review out so you guys could score it on the early bird pricing. I say go for it. I don't see anything that would hold me back from suggesting this watch to anyone. If you're in the market for a Daytona style chronograph, this is a nice one. I like the branding. The crystal's good. The ceramic bezel's good. The case is nice. The bracelet is decent. It's got good lume, solid movement. What more could you ask for in a $90 watch, right? So, yeah, I think that's it for me. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.